I've said it before, but I love it. When we first started this segment, it did really well in the beginning. And I thought, how long could this go on? I mean, people really aren't that angry. Yes, they are. Yes, you are. And you're back for more. Starting with this email. This guy's going to fire up and start off the What's Your Beef segment. Dear Rome Skillet, my beef is with the guy that says, how are we doing? When he's just talking to me. I don't know if he thinks that it's clever or it's a power move, but I immediately know that he is a tool. Casey in New Hampshire. How are we doing, Casey? We're great, Casey. How are we? Hey, Rome. My beef is with Canadians who obviously have money. They come down to Arizona as snowbirds, and they tip 10 to 12% after they rack up a $400 check. And they're always really sneaky, too. They will talk to you about life and are as nice as it can be. And then you see the gratuity that they left you and that you just got gut like a fish. Memo to Canada. Learn how to tip the appropriate amount if you receive good service at a restaurant. 20% is a good starting point. If that's going to cut a week off your 6-month vacation, sorry about it. Get it figured out. Mike in Peoria. Mike going after Canada for being cheapskates. Rome. My beef is with Jim Guy, who does not wipe down his machine after his 30th set. While this guy is working on his high-intensity training, this dude has the audacity to take up an entire row of machines that is now drenched in his sweat. He has no problem hacking up a lung in the middle of flu season because he can't miss a workout. Unwore gym guys with back acne and skinny legs. Demasio in Albuquerque, man, that covers it, doesn't it? That's all pretty disgusting. Yeah, we all know that guy too. That guy or that gal in the gym who will not skip a day, just absolutely hacking up a lung. I see that quite a bit. And also, quote, gym guy with back acne and skinny legs because he's not committing to leg day. Just wipe down the machine. It's not that hard. That's why they've got all the sanitizers that are there. They're everywhere. You can't walk 5 feet without seeing them pop up, man. Grab a couple. Hey, Rome. My beef is when idiots park just enough over their line that it kills the chance of anybody else parking in that spot. Take 3 seconds to fix it or don't park in a compact slot. Don't get my hopes up and break my heart and send me to level 5 row F to find a spot 2 miles from the building. Jeff from Portland. And part of that's on you, Jeff. Why are you getting your hopes up? You know if there's an open spot there, it's because somebody did something like that. Or there's a shopping cart hanging over. Otherwise, it wouldn't be an open spot. You know this. Hey, Jim, I've got a serious beef that needs to be addressed. There are 2 types of people in this world. Those who return their... Oh, there you go. Led me right into it. Those who return their shopping cart to the corral in the parking lot, and those who don't. For the love of God, people, return your cart. I can spot these people a mile away, and I'm here to tell you that hawk guy in your studio takes it one step further. He props that thing up on the curb and then smiles and congratulates himself by saying that cart could have rolled away and hit a car, but not on my watch.
For the love of God.
That's the stuff serial killers are made of. You are still being lazy. Because then I'm the guy who pulls into park but has to stop and hold up traffic and move said cart because Hawk is a lazy bag. I'd rather you leave it in the parking space so I can just drive past. Stop it, people. Return your carts to where they belong. Do you do that, Adam? Maybe it's just me, and I'm not saying this definitively. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I've been to some markets or grocery stores where they don't really have that area for the carts, and that's why people just leave them up on the curb. Or you got to walk it all the way back in the store. And you know people aren't doing that. I'm not saying that they shouldn't. They should. But you know people are not walking that thing all the way back into the store if you don't have a corral. Rome, my beef is with attractive, blonde-haired women named Nicole. He's out. He's not emailing this show. Jim, my beef is with the BIC. Thanks to him, every time I see Jeff passing, or even his name on the ticker on my TV, all my brain processes is ass pan.
Jeff, did you know that Passon is an anagram of ass pan?
Thanks a lot, Brad. Adam in Atlanta. Rome, I've got a beef with my 5-year-old son. He didn't want to go to school today. And while the nanny was loading the 2-year-old up, he decided it would be a good idea to throw the TV remote at my 60-inch flat screen that is no longer working. Jim in Chicago wore the next television sale and warranties. All right, that is the email and Twitter version of the beef contest. Anybody want to beef on the phones? Let's go to the phones. Let's go to Maine. D in Maine. D, what is your beef?
My beef, Jim, good morning. How are you today?
Great. How about you, D?
I'm super. I got to get my husband, Jared, to turn off the radio so that we can hear each other.
Do that, Jared.
For this?
There you go. Is that better?
There we go. Yeah. I have a beef with red wine because I'm super allergic to it. I also have a beef with whiners.
Like people who whine or people who drink wine?
Both. Kathie Lee can go bite my nuts. Excuse me.
That's not a good call. No.
You don't like that call.
I don't like that call. Not a very good call.
Alvin, did you run her because she said, quote, Kathie Lee can go bite my nuts? Is that why? To quote Alvin, well, yeah, dude, there is some confusion on the other side of the glass, but yeah, that's pretty much why we did. Yes, we confirmed it. Bite nuts. Got her run. All right, D. D's beef before she got run was wine. No, people who drink red wine and people who actually whine. War Lady Clones.
War Lady Clones.
In fact, let's go back to back with it. We go to Wichita. Darlene. Hi, Darlene. What's your beef?
Hi, Jim. This is Darlene. My beef is any radio talk show host that starts off saying, this story is a non-story. It doesn't even deserve to be talked about. And then they cover the story and continue for 10 minutes or more, continuously saying, this is a non-story. We shouldn't even be talking about this, and continue on talking about it. What a waste. Don't bring it up if it's not worthy.
It's a good point, Darlene. Well said. You should be a program director. Her point is, if you're saying it's a non-story, then why are you doing the story? Like, not to disrespect anybody. Whenever somebody says, not to be disrespectful, somebody is about to get disrespected. We know this. This is a non-story, means somebody is going to go on and on and on about a story, according to Darlene. Back-to-back Lady Clones. Are there any more? 1-800-636-8686. Nope. But there is this guy. Man, this dude's got a lot to beef about. Bob in L.A. Hey, Bob, what's your beef?
Hey, Jim, did you happen to catch last week's wonderful parody of the Houston Astros and Hogans Heroes, starring Bill Payne, their owner, as Sergeant Schultz? I don't have none. I don't see anything. I don't do anything. I know nothing. What a wonderful show it was, Jim. I'll tell you what. And the casting was perfect. An idiot playing an idiot. Anyway, Jim, I'd just like to say that all those clones maybe that were calling in saying there's no big deal about the Astros and about how LA probably had sour grapes and all that. Well, in the words of Tony Soprano, I got your sour grapes right here. Anyway, that's my beef, Jim. This is Bob in L.A. thanking the Hawkster for letting me get through every once in a while.
Now you're done.
No.
Bob, you don't need to reset who you are at the end of the phone call. I announced to everybody who you were at the start of the phone call. You're not composing a letter. You don't need to say best regards, sincerely, all the best, fondly, Bob in L.A. Bob, we know who you are. We know who you are. We know who you are because you always call during that segment because you're a bitter old guy, which is fine.
Run his ass down.
That guy. We know who you are. How will we ever forget you, Bob in L.A., when you're the guy who said about LeBron, run his ass down?
Run his ass down.
Also, if you're going to call up and take a run at the Astros owner, I'm here for that too. But maybe you get this guy's name right. Or maybe you come close and not come in and say, yeah, well, the Astros owner. Did you hear that parody about Bill Payne? Bill Payne. Bill Payne, Jim Crane, whatever. Bob Crane, Jim Crane, Bill Payne, Adam Kane. Chip in H-Town tweets, my beef is with those ED commercials that sneak up on you quick, especially if the kids are in the car. I can't change the station fast enough. And before you know it, the damage is done. Daddy, what is erectile dysfunction? Glad you asked, sweetheart. Let me break that down for you. ED does not stand for Eric Davis. When we come back, I may carry this thing over to the top of the hour. There's enough beef out there. Stay tuned. All-time beef segment. It's one thing for the beef segment to carry an entire segment and to carry it well. Another thing for the beef segment to jump a segment. But I can already tell you right now, we could easily do an entire another segment on your beefs. We do it once a week. What's your beef? Brought to you by Old Trapper. Because there's a lot of beef out there. Jamie in Green Bay responds to Bob in L.A. Hey, Bob, nobody watches Hogans Heroes anymore. Call back with a Gunsmoke reference next time. Man, that is so true. Bonanza didn't want any of that. The Big Valley didn't want any of that. Ike loves these references. Green Acres didn't want any of that. The Rifleman didn't want any of that. I Dream of Jeannie didn't want any of that. Get Smart didn't want any of that. It's Bob in L.A., right? I mean, how old is that guy? Of course he went with a reference from Hogan's Heroes. I think he was kind of going with a Crane reference, you know? Jim Crane, Bob Payne, Bob Crane.
Starring Bill Payne, their owner, as Sergeant Schultz.
Bill Payne. Oh, so close, Bob. As Sergeant Schultz. Sergeant Schultz smack. MASH didn't want any of that. What was that show called? It'll Come to Me. Had kind of a Western slant to it. You know, like that variety show. I don't know. Ike, I would say that the staff is too young, but you're not. You should know what I'm talking about. Hey, Rome, my beef is with pregnant weather lady. Always out of breath, trying to tell me it's foggy and raining. Leaning into the desk. Go home and spit that kid out already. Your beef is with, quote, pregnant weather lady? She's doing her job, bro. Jim, what is the deal with salsa bars and those tiny little cups? Nothing is more annoying than waiting in line for some salsa before some bag starts to build the Leaning Tower of Pisa while proceeding to make the whole bar a crime scene. Hey, bag, here's a pro tip. Grab the ladle and shovel the salsa onto your plate so we can all get along with the rest of our lives. Fred in Riverside, war renaming that piece of metal the Players' Trophy. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. But then again, is it the patron's fault or is it the salsa bar's fault for those stupid little cups they give you? This is an all-timer, this beef segment. It just keeps going. Hey, Rome, my beef is with waiters. Emailing your show, calling Canadians cheap when they should be mopping up milk that a 4-year-old just spilled at his feet. Lee in Vancouver. Canada's in. Rome, my beef is with Mike in Peoria. 20% for good service is appropriate, and you get 10. Do the math, simpleton. Stop emailing radio programs and bring me my Grand Slam breakfast. Chris in Canada, noted Scotty Tippin fan. Jim, my beef is with the subhumans that take their shoes off on airplanes. No one wants to see your disgusting feet. They look like abused hamsters. Stay off my plane, animal. Tom in Baltimore. I always felt the same way. I always felt the same way until the past year, and I'm not saying that I don't still feel the same way, but for the first time I had a question in my mind about that. For a long time, I thought that anybody who took off their shoes on an airplane was a deadbeat and a scumbag, and it was disgusting. But then the last couple of years, I've been flying a lot in business shoes, and I'm telling you, man, there are flights I have where my feet are literally about to explode through my shoes. I do not take off my shoes, but the thought has crossed my mind. You know, I'm not doing it because it's like my living room and I want to get comfortable. It's because my feet are swelling up. What is that? Is there an answer? Or do you just sit there and endure it and not be a total scumbag about it? Hee-haw! Exactly. Thank you. I knew somebody would get that. Hee-haw. Hee-haw didn't want any of that. Romy. My beef is with every single retail salesperson. No matter what you're looking at, a car, a stereo, a TV, a bed, they always say, that's the exact same one I have at my home. Mike and Snowbird. No, not really. No, they don't. Hi, my name is Stereo Mike. Mike D for 3. Bob in LA is the guy on Facebook who signs his name at the end of every all caps post. Bob, we know who you are. You don't need to tell us. The second you say, hey, Jam, with that gravelly voice, we know who you are. Back to the phones. Let's go to Jeff in Orange. Hey, Jeff, what's your beef?
Romy, I got a beef with you, brother.
What's up?
You haven't mentioned Yoko Ono's birthday in the first full hour of your show, man. No drops, no nothing.
Wow. You know what? I'll take that. I'll own that. I actually did not know that it was Yoko's birthday. My bad. All right, Jeff, that's fair. I'll own that. Apparently, Yoko was born 87 years ago today. That is amazing. Yoko, happy birthday. That's a strong beef. She deserves a hell of a lot more respect than I was giving her by ignoring her birthday. I love this song. I've said it before, but it bears repeating. When I get to the end of a workout, I always save that one tune. Like when I've hit the wall and I know I can't finish, or I think I can't finish, and I want that one tune that I want to jam on, that's the tune that I bump. And every once in a while I'll break out. I've got my Peloton at home, which I'm always on. But sometimes if I want to go to a gym to change up, I'll do that on occasion. You should see the looks that I get when I get to the end of my workout and I bump that and I'm just blown. I'm going hard. Oh! People in the gym are looking at me like, yo, man, you don't need to sing that out loud. And I don't even know that I am. Yokes, happy birthday. Happy birthday, Lady Yokes. Sorry about that. I should have got to it in hour number 1. He's right. Thank you, Alvin. Let's go to Camarillo. Mike in Camarillo. Mike, what's your beef?
Hi, Mr. Rome. How you doing?
Good, Mike. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. I just wanted to make a public service announcement, not lead to carts back to the store. Just leave them out in the lot. We don't want to take union jobs away.
You mean for the guys with the orange vests that are paid to bring those things back into the store?
Yeah, we got to keep them rolling, so thank you very much for letting me talk.
You got it, Mike. Appreciate it. Well, that's a different point of view. He said we want to make sure we keep the union guys rolling. It is their job. I hadn't really thought about that, right? I forgot that there are people paid to take those things back. I don't know. Are they paid to clean the dishes in your sink, too? Am I going to wait for that to happen? Or am I just going to stack up the sinks? I don't know. I feel like the cart's my responsibility. I got the cart. I filled it up with groceries. I wheeled it around the store. I took it to my car. Was that cart going to wheel itself back into the corral? No, I really feel like that's our responsibility. Although he did point out, no, there are union employees. Let them do their job. Because if everybody were to return their carts, then they wouldn't have jobs. I don't know, Mike. Do they not still bag? Do they not still stock? Do they not still clean up the spill on aisle 4? I don't know. Hey, Mike, are you the kind of guy that like goes to a fast food store or a restaurant, I should say, and you're eating in your car and you're driving around, and then you're on the freeway and you finish it and you throw it out the window? And then when an officer tries to ticket you for littering, do you say, no, that's for the Caltrans guys. They have a job to do. And if everybody throws their trash in a trash can, there will be no job for them to do. There's a reason they're wearing those orange vests on the weekend. They did something wrong. And if there's not a penalty, then what's the deterrent? Hey, Rome Slice. My beef is with gambling addict 7-Eleven lottery ticket guy. Never fails. I go in to grab my daily super big gulp, and there he is, the degenerate 55 to 60-year-old gambling addict pulling the rent money out of his filthy dad jeans to scour over the scratcher tickets before dropping another $40 on the Mega Lotto or whatever the hell they're called. Come on, man. I just want my $1 refill so I can get back to work, man. Derek in San Diego. You know, I kind of have a different take on that. And it's not because I gamble now a little bit. I see people like that, and my thought is not that they're gambling addicts, but rather they're looking for the big score, man. They're looking for their ship to come in. They're looking for, they've been working for 40 years, and wouldn't it be nice if they won the lotto and they wouldn't have to bust their back every single day? Or they're gambling addicts. Probably a little bit of both. I'm not big on that game. I'd rather light my money on fire by betting on sports. Allegedly. It's incredible. I mean, I can't do it because luckily we're bumping up against an actual interview. You know what? It's hit me. We could do a What's Your Beef segment, or we could do an entire What's Your Beef day. I bet I could do 3 hours of beef. Based on and not even me saying anything. I've got no beef. I'm very happy in life. But a lot of you are miserable. We could do this for hours, not segments. I'm going to try that one day. I'm going to see how that goes. Like, look at this guy. Wells in the 360 tweets, my beef is with bikini baristas that are not wearing bikinis. Nobody goes there for the coffee. Just wear a bikini like advertised. Damn, Wells, really? Why don't you just buy a porno rag? Or go to a strip club? Dude, are you really complaining that bikini baristas are not wearing bikinis? Dude, why don't you go to the beach, lush? Beef segment's now officially over.